with us. We will allow him to come back with what he promised you a little later on. My name is Thelma Shongwani, and as I promised when I spoke to you earlier on that we'll have a guest in studio. Today we meet up with BhasweLihle. I hope I pronounced that right. Zilwa. She is a passionate and self-assured young author who is currently doing her grade 9 at BhasweLihle College in Johannesburg, South Africa. Today, she is here to share with us about a book that she put together, which is known as Lihle's collection of motivational quotes for teens. Welcome to Ubuntu Radio.
Hi, Sister Ma. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming through to studio. Before we get into the details of your book, I begin to wonder, you know what, some of us are still waiting to write our first book, over 40, and I'm still procrastinating, and I'm wondering what could have inspired this young woman to go this far. Maybe let's first get to know you better. Share with us about your family background. Where were you born? How were you brought out? And the kind of family that you come from.
So, as you said before, I am BhasweLihle Zilwa. So, I also have two middle names, Siyamthanda, which means we love her, and Ntombedinga, which is girl of promise.
Wow.
And BhasweLihle means beautiful wedding present as well.
Wow.
Yes. So, I was born here in Johannesburg, but my family originally comes from the Eastern Cape. And I have an older sister as well who is currently a medical doctor. And I just grew up in quite a very loving home, very supportive home. You know, if you have whatever little dream you have, no matter how young you are, you know, they always support you. I mean, when I was younger, I used to make loom bands, and I had this dream of selling them, you know. And I was like probably like 6 years old, and I had this dream of like selling them all across the provinces. Wow. And like my family didn't you know, put that to the side, but they actually you know, invested in it and helped me, you know, like sell these loom bands. So yeah, they're just quite a very supportive family and a very loving family as well.
They are indeed. You know, I so wish that our listeners out there could see how the studio is packed today, because all of your family members are here to support you. You are definitely a winning girl. So you are the founder of Future Global Leaders Club and the author of Lihle's motivational quotes for teens. Let's first talk about the Future Global Leaders Club. What is it all about?
So a Future Global Leaders Club is basically a club where it only accepts students with a 70% or above average. And it's basically, I founded the club in order to kind of encourage, you know, the teens that are, you know, want to succeed and, you know, always strive for excellence in their lives, and to just put them all in one room so that they encourage one another. We all encourage one another and sharpen each other's swords, you know, because sometimes it's not taken as cool to be like academically you know, excellent and, you know, always trying to work hard, and you know always pushing. So I just felt that we need like this kind of group where everyone's kind of wanting the same thing, so we can push one another and, you know, push one another to be the greatest that we can be.
But then this club, how does it help those who are willing but they are performing below average?
So I think this club basically, it kind of is an encouragement that, you know, you can do it, you know, with, you know, we as the club provide like resources, you know, like such as tutors, and also seminars that happen to inspire. So I feel that if you aren't able to, you know, internalize, you don't have a 70 or above average, then maybe it's just kind of like a motivation, you know, for you to work hard, so that you are also able to be influenced positively by all your other peers around you who are also striving for the best.
Then let's get to the point. What brought you here? The book, Lihle's collection of motivational quotes for teens. What inspired you to write this book?
So basically, I saw for my older sister, Uliza, the one that I mentioned is now a medical doctor. When she was in high school, you know, she had all these quotes, these motivating quotes all around her study desk while she was studying. And I could see how they really motivated her, you know, to always study hard, study day in and day out. And I mean, they worked out because she's now a doctor. So I also now, when schools, you know, started to get like serious, I also started collecting my own quotes to motivate myself as well. And then now by around 2021, there was around 300, over 300 motivational and inspirational quotes that I had collected. So now I was sitting with all these quotes and they were motivating me, and I was thinking that, you know, there are other teenagers out there, and I know being a teenager is very hard. And these quotes are helping me. So I'd like to also, you know, try and package and put it together in order to, you know, so that other teenagers out there have a source of motivation, so they're motivated to also reach their dreams, well, no matter how hard or against all odds it is.
You said it yourself that you are targeting teenagers like yourself, but there are also adults like myself who are no longer motivated, who have lost hope in life. Do you think that your book can also do some magic for them?
I do think that it's also not just for teens, but really anyone, because I mean, they do say that you never stop learning, right? So I think it is really for everyone who needs, you know, that sort of motivation, whether you maybe need some quotes about courage, or you need some quotes about perseverance, about being resilient, you know, sacrificing, you know, and even as I have been normally received by some embassies. So I've seen, you know, like the ambassador of Cote d'Ivoire and the ambassador of Senegal, and they've all also said that, you know, it's not just for teens, but also, you know, really for anyone who's open to learn and is open to, you know, improve their lives.
Your book is also written in other languages, like Swahili.
Yes.
Why did you decide on that?
So it's translated into French and Swahili, and I think we decided on translating it into these languages so that it is open to the rest of Africa, the rest of the African continent as well. So it's not just in English, so that it's easier, you know, for other African youths out there, as you know, youths make up to 60% of the population of Africa. So I think just so that it can reach other teens out there, so that they can also be motivated, because I mean the African Union agenda for 2063, you know, they counting on engaged and empowered youth, and you know, however, unfortunately, the youth that is not trained, educated, or employed is about 118 million, you know, across Africa. So I'm hoping that like this book, now that it's translated into these languages, can help motivate that youth, so that, you know, the agenda for 2063 is really achieved against all the odds.
You have just mentioned the key word, the magical word, Agenda 2063. You are the future, girl. You are the future, because you are looking ahead of us, and this is what we want. This is the Africa that we want, the youth that is inspirational, the youth that is looking forward to the future. So I begin to wonder, I understand that this book, it's not just a collection of quotes, but they are categorized into different elements. Let's talk about that. How did you bring the quotes together the way they are arranged in the book?
And now we were starting with this thing of, okay, let's make it into a book, but now we couldn't just, you know, throw them all just randomly. Like we had to try and, you know, strategically place them. And then we started to realize that no, like some of these quotes have a common like attributes that they're all about. So some of them are about integrity, some are about ambition, you know, courage, and so eventually we saw that there's about 10 attributes that they're all about. So, you know, like your integrity, your courage, your ambition, your sacrifice, your hard work, perseverance, resilience, you know, discipline. And then that's how I basically developed my guide to navigating success, which is what I'd say are the attributes that are needed for one to, you know, to succeed. And then I kind of placed them in order of importance. So then that's now how the chapters are done. So you'd have firstly you have your integrity, ambition, courage, hard work, discipline, sacrifice, perseverance, image, success, and then resilience.
Amazing. I know that, like I said, people like myself, I still aspire to write a book one day, but I don't even know where to start. I don't even know how to find a publisher. How did you manage to put everything together and come up with such an amazing masterpiece?
So I think after I had, like realized that this is something that I wanted to do and this vision that I saw, then we started, searching, looking for publishers, and then we eventually got one, and then that's when, everything, we started seeing like everything falling into place, like putting like the graphic designer, putting the images, and like kind of planning how to lay out all the codes in a way that's gonna be easy for someone to read. Like it's not gonna just be in paragraphs where it's heavy. Someone needs to really sit down, but just how you can just open the book and just see a code, and then you can easily just, that can be a code of the day, just something that's easily readable as well.
When my producer told me about this interview, he sent me a link to your website, and the first thing, like when I opened, I could see that it's properly done. And when you guys arrived here, I realized that you're well branded, all in uniform with banners everywhere. What is the importance of personal branding and marketing when you have a project like this one?
I think it's quite important, as also part of the attributes that I have is image, right? So I think just the image that we have, it needs to just show that, like I'm still a young girl, but like, I am thinking about the future, and I'm different to other teens out there, and that professionally done, like all the branded and the website, just to see that this is something that's serious as well. So I think that's the importance really of it.
You have your mom and dad here. What would you say is the importance of having family support like your parents are doing for you? How does it help you in succeeding?
I think it's really helped me, like with all the the interviews that I've done and all the school handover that I've done, to just have like the support of my parents and also my families or my aunts. It's quite, because you just feel that you're not alone in what you're doing, and that you have support, everyone's rooting for you, and it's quite it's quite nice. I'm also a bit of a shy person as well, so it helps that I have some familiar faces around that really help me to try and to get out of my shell and perform how I need to perform.
As we are about to end this interview, I would like you to say a few words just to motivate other teens out there who have dreams, but they have not taken the first step to achieve what they aspire to achieve.
I think my advice would be to just, because I know there's always these voices in your head that are like, no, stop, don't do this, and like it's not good enough and everything. But I think it's just, in order for you to be able to take that first step, I think you need to just try and silence those voices. I know it's much easier said than done, but I think just taking that leap of faith and taking that step forward will really be what you need to do. Because as you said, like even if you have these dreams and aspirations that you have, they're never gonna come true if like you don't take that first step. So I do think that just taking that first step and silencing those voices is quite important.
Do you have any social media handles where people can follow you and get to know more about your book and what you do?
Yes, so we are on Instagram at BhasweLihle, and then we also have the website where you can order the book at www.BhasweLihle.co.za. You can also get in contact with my brand manager, Umzamo, the number 072-301-2801.
Apart from ordering the book online, is there any other way where people can purchase the book? Is it available in major bookshops in South Africa or anywhere else?
For right now, no, unfortunately not. It's just either you can order it online or you can also get it on Amazon as well.
Okay. All right. Last words before we part ways?
I'll just like to really ask the Department of International Relations to really just open the doors for me in all the relevant countries, so that this book can be in the hands and the minds of all the youth of African countries, because as they say, like the youth is the future.
Even beyond Africa, because hey, we are the South Africa's public diplomacy in action. We're taking the word out there to the world. So I do believe that even in other countries outside the continent of Africa, they are going to hear the message of hope that you are bringing here. Thank you so much for having made time to come and speak to us.
Thank you so much, Sister Uma. Je te remercie. Asante sana. Nankenza.
Namina nakenza. That was Lihle Zilwa. She is the writer of Lihle's collection of motivational quotes for teens, sharing with us about her book and how she came up with all these quotes. I do believe that even adults can be motivated by it. Do get yourself that book and make sure that you share it with the loved ones. Let's take a short break and we go back to Vusi Maupa.
Are you planning to travel outside South Africa?